Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. I'd like to start by saluting the flag. If everyone can please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before I start with our agenda, I just want to make a note. It's stated at the top of our agenda that we've have a change in meetings for October. We're flip-flopping our planning session and our business meeting. So next month, our business meeting, which is held here, it will be on October 6th at 8 o'clock instead of the 20th. And our planning session will then be on October 20th instead of the 6th. So if you just make a note of that. And we'll be sending out correspondence to remind you. Okay, so on with our agenda. Item D, approval of minutes. Item E, acknowledgement and acceptance of financial reports and budget transfers as printed. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Communications to the Board of Education were received from Jennifer Kramer, James Sheridan, Denise Belling, and Jennifer Strauss. And item G, Superintendent's Report. Mr. McNamara?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight. I'm John McNamara, Superintendent of Schools. My pleasure to welcome you here this evening. I wanted to start with some good news. So a little bit later on in our agenda, we're going to be congratulating one of our members of our faculty who is receiving the recognition of tenure this evening, and that's Samantha Barrett. Samantha is a teacher over at Wantagh Elementary School, currently teaching 5th grade. We are thrilled that Samantha is here with us and part of our staff. She has done just an outstanding job since she joined us 3 years ago. We were fortunate in the sense that we were hiring a couple months into the school year. At that point in time, we had a change in a faculty member there, and just found an outstanding candidate. Samantha came to us already with a good amount of teaching experience from New York City, where not only she served as a teacher, but also as an instructional coach and supported the work that teachers were doing there. Samantha is an outstanding teacher instructionally, has a tremendous amount of strength in the Reader and Writer workshop model, which is something that we implement here in Wantagh, and she's really been able to support the work that we've been doing in that area. She has really been a model teacher for us, has served in the model teacher program, not only supporting the students in her classroom, but the work of her colleagues. This year, we're thrilled that she's also serving as an instructional coach in the district, supporting the work of our staff as well. So it's certainly with great pleasure that I congratulate Samantha tonight. And on her recognition of tenure. She's here tonight with her family, so congratulations to Samantha Barrett. All right, moving along, a couple of things to report out for tonight. We continue to move forward with our bond referendum to the community that we're anticipating will be on Tuesday, December 6th. We have planned a series of informational meetings on that bond where we'll be sharing all the details of that with the community. And it's really to address several different things. One is some infrastructure projects that we need to accomplish in the district that really focus on two core areas. One is HVAC replacement across the district. We have aging infrastructure in that regard, in particular the unit ventilators in all of our classrooms that need upgrading. and window replacement. We have aging windows that we need to replace. That's a project that we paired together that just makes sense to do at the same time. When you're replacing the infrastructure in terms of HVAC, it makes sense to do the windows at the same time. So we're going to be doing a series of presentations around that that'll detail all of that for the community. That's one area of a referendum that we're going to do. And then there'll be a second referendum for our bond that we're also going to be proposing, which is around this room right here, renovating our district auditorium and also upgrading our athletic facilities as well. So we'll be presenting the detail of that at 3 different meetings. I welcome everyone to attend. We'll be recording those meetings. They'll be available live stream as well, and we'll be posting those to the website along with the detailed presentations. Our district architect will be there, Michael Mark, to talk about some of those projects in much greater detail as well. We also sent out a survey to the community. I know, just looking around the room, there's several of you that have completed that. We appreciate that. And welcome anyone that hasn't to complete it. It's right on the main page of our district website for all of our community members to complete, just to give us some insight into people's thinking around the bond work that is going to be done. The good news is that we have some debt service that's coming off the books. We had some borrowings that were done, one 15 years ago and one coming up on 20 years ago that are going to be expiring. That we're going to use to kind of replace that debt service that's coming off the books with new borrowing to fund much of this work. In addition, we are taking a look at other areas to fund some of these projects as well, which include through our capital reserve fund. We established a capital reserve fund several years ago, so we'll be doing a number of projects out of that as well that we'll be proposing to the community, as well as through our district budget. So we're going to highlight those 3 different buckets of funding for the community when we meet, and we'll go through the projects that are involved in that at those upcoming meetings. So we certainly encourage everyone to attend. We look forward to those. The first one is on September 28th, then followed by a meeting on October 17th, and then November 14th, leading up to the vote on December 6th. The vote on December 6th will take place at each of our elementary schools and will be from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So more to come with that, and please check our district website for information as it's posted. The first of 2 newsletters will be arriving at home shortly, which just kind of outlines the community forums that will be taking place, the first one, and the second one will be a detailed one with highlighting much of the work and the project. So please be on the lookout for those as well. All right. I'm also happy to report we had a really outstanding opening of school. It's been terrific being back. Just the energy and enthusiasm in our buildings has been great. Our students have been fantastic, and I just want to thank our entire staff for all their work in preparing for the opening of schools. It was just really nice. The energy level, the enthusiasm certainly seemed like we are well on the road to being much closer back to normal in terms of how we operate, and it's really been terrific. So I'm happy to report to the board that we had a great opening several weeks, and we look forward to all of our opening month events in the building. We had our back to school nights at Wantagh High School and Wantagh Middle School this week. Both very well attended. We thank everyone that came out for those events, and we look forward to our elementary curriculum nights coming up next week as well. And all of our traditional fall events, including our homecoming in October. So that's it for my report tonight. I'll turn it back over to Mrs. Reich.
Thank you, Mr. McNamara. Okay, as we move along in our agenda, item H, report of the administration. Item H1, personnel actions, instructional staff. Item H1A, tenure recommendation. Again, congratulations to Samantha Barrett. Item H1B, salary advancement for completion of courses. Item C, salary revisions. Item D, 6th instructional classes. Item E, requests for leave of absence. And item F, temporary appointment for a teacher on leave. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H1G, extracurricular club offering. H, appointment to club extracurricular activities. I, appointment to coaching assignment. J, rescission of instructional substitute appointments. K, revision of effective dates. And L, appointment of instructional substitutes. Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H2, personnel actions, civil service. H2A, resignations. B, requests for leave of absence. C, appointments of summer personnel. D, change in salary and title. E, appointments of civil service personnel. F, appointments of non-instructional substitutes. And G, revision of effective dates. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second? All in favor? Item H3, contractual and other authorizations. Item H3A, licensed security guard services. Item B, revocable permit agreement. C, special education tuition contracts. D, disposal of obsolete books. And E, disposal of equipment. Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H3F, Wantagh Seaford Tract Center Courses Fall Winter Program. Item G, SECRA Resolution. Item H, County of Nassau Intermunicipal Agreement. And item I, extracurricular clubs name change. Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor? Item I, unfinished business, there is none. Item J, new business. Item J1, approval of committees on special education and preschool special education recommendations. And 2, Board of Education superintendent goals. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second? All in favor? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn our business portion of the meeting?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second? Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that concludes our business portion with the agenda. We're going to move on to our parental groups, starting actually with our student government. And we are welcoming 2 new student government representatives this year, Sean Brown and Nyla Lester. They're gracious enough to take some time out of their evenings to come and help us with our school events. So Sean and Nyla, take it away.
Good evening, Wantagh parents, faculty, and staff. We are the new presidents of student government and general organization at the high school, and we will just be mentioning some of the past and upcoming school events that are happening this month. My name is Nyla Lester, and I am a junior.
And my name is Sean Brown, and I'm a senior this year. There have been several events held at Wantagh High School in the past couple of weeks. Last Thursday, September 8th, Mr. Musio and Mr. Nyberg hosted a senior college night to inform seniors and their parents about the application process for college. A college fair was also held on Tuesday, September 13th, where 35 colleges were represented from the states of Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. There will also be another college fair during school next Tuesday, September 20th, exclusively for Wantagh High School students. Back to School Night was also just last night for the middle and high school, and members from GO and the National Honor Society helped to direct parents to classrooms during the night, while orchestra, band, and chorus played throughout the halls to welcome them.
High school sports officially kicked off earlier this month, and so far, our Warriors are doing amazing things on the field and court. On Friday, September 9th, the football team defeated Hewlett under the lights 16-7, while the varsity boys volleyball team earned a win against Jericho on Sunday, September 12th. Additionally, the varsity girls swim team won their match against Westbury on Friday, September 9th. The girls varsity volleyball team beat JFK at home this past Tuesday. Furthermore, the varsity girls tennis team won against Carl Place and Valley Stream North on Monday and Wednesday earlier this week. Upcoming events to be held at the high school in September include Freshman Field Day on Friday, September 23rd, and Financial Aid Night for seniors and their parents on September 29th. Moving into early October, the senior photo taken in the courtyard will be during school on October 4th, and the class of 2024 is running a car wash at the high school on October 8th.
And this year's pep rally will be hosted on October 14th, with homecoming being held the day after on Saturday, October 15th. This year, GEO chose the homecoming theme to be music genres. The seniors chose disco, the juniors stuck with country, the sophomores are with hip hop, and the freshmen are with rock. Thank you for all your attention, and those are all the upcoming events for the next weeks.
Thank you very much for your report. Now we'll go to our Foundation for Educational Excellence. Barbara?
Good evening. After a 2-year hiatus, Summer Rec was back. We had 262 children. It was great. It was so good to have them back and be back. We will be having our Tech Buddy program again. If you're not familiar with it, it's when we have middle school students come to our tech center to help the kindergarten and first graders who have just gotten their Chromebooks to help them navigate the programs that they'll be using if they're not familiar with it. We had it last year. It's just a couple of Saturdays, and it was really successful. The parents loved it, so we'll be having that again. We'll put it out on social media. Let's see what else. We want to thank members of the community who have been so generous in donating to the foundation. It enabled us to give more than $5,000 in grants to teachers last year. And right now we're looking to, again, give grants this fall to the teachers. The application is on our website. Everything needs to be in by October 31st, and hopefully by the board meeting in November, we will be able to announce who's getting the grants. And that was it.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone from Forest Lake? How about Mandalay PTA?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Suzanne Dressler,
Hello, I'm Danielle Taravecchia.
and we're the Mandalay co-presidents. We first wanted to start off by saying that Mandalay is very excited for our new school year. We have a lot of fun things planned for the students.
We would like to give a great shout out to Mrs. Pisicchio and all of the Mandalay teachers. The kids had such a wonderful time opening up the school year, seeing all the teachers and their smiling faces, and it went so smoothly, and all the parents and kids are very happy.
This Saturday, we have our 5th grade car wash. Please come out and support the 5th grade class. It's $10 for a car wash with an air freshener. And if you have a nice car and you don't want us to touch it, we have a $20 no-touch car wash where you can just drive through, and we'll give you a little shout out for supporting the class. We'd appreciate your support. We have our Charleston Wrap fundraiser going on right now. If anybody is interested, that information can be found on our Facebook page. And our plant sale is well underway. We've secured our farm, and we're going to be selling mums and fall bean baskets, haystacks, corn stalks, and I believe Montauk daisies.
We are also looking forward to our 5th grade back to school movie night on September 30th. We're going to be showing Rise of the Gru. Anybody seen that movie? You know it's wonderful. We're going to be selling snacks and having a great time. So we're looking forward to seeing our Mandalay families. And
I think that's all we have.
yes, and we're looking forward to back to school night too, meeting our teachers in person.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from Wantagh Elementary? How about SEPTA?
Good evening.
I'm Louise, this is Kristen and Belinda. We want to start by thanking everyone who's already joined SEPTA this year or who plans to join SEPTA. Our membership is open to any family or community member in the district. We encourage everyone to join, particularly if you have a student that has a 504 plan or an IEP. Wantagh SEPTA provides a wealth of resources and moral support, so please join SEPTA.
SEPTA's first meeting of the year will take place on Wednesday, October 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the high school room 150. We are pleased to have Mr. Moran and a variety of our teachers and support service staff on hand to introduce themselves, and there will be time at the conclusion of the meeting to get to know the people working with your child each day.
We are also very excited to be hosting a virtual meeting on October 24th where we'll have Kate Swenson as our guest speaker. For those of you who don't know who Kate is, she is a mom of 4 children. Her oldest son is Cooper. He was diagnosed with severe autism and he's nonverbal. And now through her social media and her blog, Finding Cooper's Voice, she has close to 1 million followers where she shares her day-to-day journey on dealing with Cooper's journey and as well as dealing with her family. She's been generous enough to give us copies of her book, Forever Boy, that will be auctioning off, that she actually signed, and Cooper, he signed it too. His autograph is way more valuable than hers because he's absolutely delicious. So we're very excited about that. So we're hoping that everyone will log in. We'll be doing that via Zoom.
Okay, and fundraising, like in Mandalay, has begun with SEPTA. We're going to host a morning movie fundraiser at the Belmore Playhouse on Monday, October the 10th. The feature is going to be Hocus Pocus 2. Check-in begins at 9:30 and the movie will start at 10 o'clock. And you can pre-purchase your tickets through our member hub. They're $15 and that includes the film, a small popcorn and a drink. If you're able to join us at the last minute, you can gladly come and it'll be $20 a ticket at the door. We encourage families to come. This is going to be a judgment-free environment where you and your family can enjoy the show as you please. And in addition, backed by popular demand is our Boone Supply fundraiser, this time in the fall. We're running it from October the 12th to the 31st, and SEPTA supporters can go to boonesupply.com and search Wantagh SEPTA or enter the number 94472, and you can shop the catalog. Purchases will be delivered directly to your home, and any before-tax purchase of $85 or more will include free shipping. It's really fabulous products, and SEPTA will get 40% of the profits from the sale, and we're looking forward to using these funds towards family fun events, teacher grants, and SEPTA scholarships. And I just want to remind everyone in the community that if you are not familiar with SEPTA, we are all over social media. We have a Facebook page, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and you can find links to Wantagh SEPTA on the district website. So thank you.
Thank you, ladies. How about 612 Association?
Hello, hi, I'm Mary Beth Reynolds. I'm on the board of 612. The 411 on 612, things got off to a great start with our first day senior class of 23 lawn sign fundraiser, as well as a special lawn sign designed for the Wantagh Middle School students. We worked hand in hand with the Wantagh Middle School to ensure smooth 6th grade orientation. 612 treated the staff of the Wantagh Middle School and the Wantagh High School to lunch on Superintendent's Conference Day. Both schools were decorated with black and gold balloons for the first day of school. Freshman Field Day is almost here, and 612 will be providing pizza and water. We are getting tech savvy this year as we now are using Member Hub for our membership and fundraisers. Membership is coming in, but we are hoping to grow it even more. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. We're happy to be back again. Don't get caught in the rain without your Wantagh umbrella. Our umbrella fundraiser just kicked off last night, and we are hoping the orders start pouring in. We will also be selling a delicious selection of White Post Farm pies just in time for the fall holidays. More on that topic, more on that next time. Sorry I didn't face you, buddy.
Thanks, Mary Beth. How about PTA Council?
So I'm Kim Sandoval, President of PTA Council, along with Cindy Ambrosio. Not much to report. Our first meeting is October 13th at Forest Lake, and our first annual blood drive is October 18th at Wantagh. Thank you.
Thank you. Sports Booster Club.
Hi, my name is Kristen Konecki, and this is Lisa Giacometti. We're both co-presidents and treasurer of the Sports Booster Club. The Sports Booster Club supports our middle school and high school athletic programs and helps award senior scholarships. The Wantagh Sports Booster Club sponsors many exciting events throughout the school year, including all homecoming festivities, varsity basketball tournaments, boys and girls, operation of the Snack Shack, and varsity scholarships and annual award banquet.
Our big fundraiser this year is a 50-50 raffle. Each ticket is $20. This is the ticket. If anybody wants, they can come see me after, and you can purchase one, or 2, or 10. The winner will be announced at homecoming on October 15th during halftime. Winner does not need to be present. And the winner can win up to $5,000. So we're trying to sell 500 tickets. If we can't, then obviously that nomination will be lower. We have a store link soon coming for Wantagh wear. We'll also have some clothing purchasing at homecoming. And we also have a store link for the alumni shirts. It's been posted on Facebook and emailed. If anybody wants, you could just reach out to Wantagh Sports Booster Club and we could email you the link. But we're working on a store link and we're hoping to have some new items at homecoming so you can see that as well. And if you join the Booster Club, it'll help go towards the student senior scholarships at the end of the year. So please join us at the September 20th meeting at 6 to 12 PTA meeting for more information on any committees and membership. Thank you.
Thank you. Bandwagon?
Good evening, I'm Lisa Hilliard. I'm one of the new co-presidents for the Bandwagon. Bandwagon is the parent organization that supports the band program throughout the whole district. We primarily focus on the high school, but we do support the middle school musicians as well. We raise money and we purchase the pep band t-shirts for the incoming freshmen. We provide food and drinks for all the bands at all the events. We provide scholarships to seniors, new drum major uniforms, things like that. We kicked off our membership drive last night at what is it called? Back to school night, sorry. And we have a new system this year with QR codes and it was very successful. A lot of members joined, so those are rolling in. We're in marching band season already, which is very exciting for the kids. We provide the kids with waters during the games. And of course we have band camp coming up and we provide pizza and snacks and waters for them then. And we look forward to homecoming as well. We support the kids with pizza, snacks, water, all those things that musicians need to keep their fuel going. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And last but not least, Drama Club? Anybody? No? Okay, I just want to say thank you to all the reps that came out tonight. I think it's very important that we kind of get back to hearing all the wonderful things that all of our organizations do. We've had a couple of years where we haven't had much excitement and fun for our kids, and I love hearing all these updates from all our organizations. So thank you and keep coming. Okay, so at this time, we will open our mic to anyone who would like to address the board and the administration.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ed Schroyce. I live right here on 1248 Daffodil Lane. First thing I'd like to do is acknowledge the board and say thank you for still allowing everyone to get up and say the Pledge of Allegiance to this beautiful flag of the United States of America, considering that many boards in this country have gone haywire already and don't want anything to do with it anymore. I gather that we're going to get into what you said about the bond and what's going on with the athletic field and all these other different things at a different date? Or can we start to address it today, or?
Yeah, you're welcome to make any comments. We're going to be doing a series of presentations in more detail about that.
Okay, well, my backyard actually faces the high school football field. And one thing maybe the board should look into is replacing that fence, because I've personally kept your fence together. It's your fence for 27 years. It's rusted, it's rotted, it's fallen apart. So maybe that would be a nice thing to look into. I'm not obligated to put a fence behind your fence, because this fence is the high school's fence. And I think my taxes should do enough to cover 71 feet of fence. So that's one thing maybe we could put on the agenda. Second of all, I believe the lights are a subject. So we're going to put athletic lights up on the school field. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, so I'm just going to clarify. This is, yes, that's part of the discussion, but this part of the meeting is for you to,
I did ask you that.
No, I understand. I just want to clarify. What we do is we listen to comments. We'll take any questions, but we don't. It's not a back and forth conversation. But at the end of the public comment period, I'm happy to address anything that was raised. Okay. So we're here to listen, and then at the end of the public comment period, if there's things that I can address, I'll address those at that time.
Okay, so my comment to that would be that when I bought my house 27 years ago, I did my due diligence of the school bus traffic up and down the block, lighting on the field, et cetera, the light at the corner, which wasn't there, if any of you don't know that, et cetera. And things have changed and evolved during the years that hurts me, my family, everybody who lives on that block, the safety of their children, my children, dogs, cats, you name it. And now you're going to unfortunately think about putting athletic lights on the school field, and you're going to ruin our property value. So maybe we could put that on the agenda as well to think about. Have a nice night.
Good evening. My name is Pat Crilly. I also live on Daffodil Lane, as a number of other people who are here this evening came down because we're very interested in knowing what you're going to do with the athletic field. I've been here for 30 years. I know a lot of people want to say that moving to the nuisance, you can't complain about the nuisance. That's a legal doctrine, or a maxim, I should say. Yes, I know I bought my home next to a school, and I love being next to the school. I love having the kids in my yard, your yard, our yard, all the activities that go on there. Things have changed in 30 years, as things will change. When I moved here, we had wooden bleachers, which actually allowed sunlight to come through them, and they were pretty quiet. We now have a bass drum bleachers, which, all right, you needed new bleachers. At the time, we said, could you consider putting the bleachers on the other side of the field? Move the field a little over. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. All right, we understand that. A number of lights were put up, I believe, about 10 years ago. And we addressed that situation at that time, too. Those lights are still there. They were couched towards us at the time as being safety lights, to provide safety to the new field and to the new stands. No one could tell us how much it was going to cost to keep these safety lights on all night. and if it made any sense to spend that kind of money based upon the average damage that we were trying to save. I think we feel the same way about stadium lights. We don't have a stadium. Why do we need stadium lights? We have bleachers, which are rarely full. Okay, maybe one game a year we have at night. Heck, let's have 4 night games a year, and we'll rent lights for $5,000 each week that we need to do it. 4 games, 4 night games. We have them for the whole week so people can play night soccer as well. So that's $20,000 a season that we'd be spending on lights. Okay, that's very reasonable. But to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on stadium lights so we can have 4 night football games, it doesn't make sense to me in this economy to be doing that. And the last thing I want to say is, I think it's great we're doing windows and we're doing HVAC work. Sure, upgrade the field if it needs to be done, but I didn't hear any discussion whatsoever about what are we doing to harden the defense of this school and the other schools, okay? I don't want to be Ivaldi putting up fences and doing something after the fact, okay? What's in the budget to harden the defense of this school and the schools in our district? I think that's something we should be looking at and focusing on long before we have stadium lights for a stadium that we don't even have. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lauren Wett. I also live on Daffodil. My house actually is the house behind the bleachers. So I'm relatively new to the area. I moved in 4 years ago. And it's a wonderful area. The school is great. The concerns that I would like to bring to the board, which I know that my neighbors can attest to, is that there's a couple of things. We understand that, of course, we live on a block that is up against the school, and we don't want to take anything away from commentary for games and things like that. But I think we just need to be more mindful of the time frame of when these things occur. For example, on the weekends when they have practice, the kids are allowed, I guess, to play their music. Unfortunately, it's very loud. It starts very early in the morning on a Saturday. I have 2 small children, and since my house is directly behind the bleachers, I don't know if it's aware to the board, but the way that the sound is it literally sounds like it's in my living room. So it wakes us up. My request is to just be mindful of the time that you allow the kids to use the system for music. It's the commentary and things like that is no problem. You can hear it, but it's not an issue. It's really the music that's played before games while they practice. If we can limit that, or just start it later in the day, or just have a level on the, that shows it can't go above a certain level, because it's very, 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 very loud. As well as, it's the bleachers themselves are metal and they're also very loud, so everyone's stomping and smashing all the time. It's just, I think for myself and my neighbors, we're just asking for some mutual respect for the people that live on the block, that we're just aware that we do live there. We all, I have small children, and if we can just be mindful and courteous, at least on the weekends, when the children are, practicing, if they can just lower the music, or altogether not have music until the game or until appropriate time, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Good evening. While we're on the subject of lights, tonight's agenda passed 3G, a resolution to put lights on the Forest Lake Field, just for the record. I would like to address, I attended the last bond forum, and there was a lot of discussion about the first, or is it Proposition 1, was going to be budget neutral. If I accept that premise, can you guarantee budget neutral in today's world and next year's world with interest rates the way they're going? If you want to respond at the next bond meeting, that'd be fine. Right. I think there's a change happening, and it has to be looked at very closely. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Visna, and I have one child in this district, and I am really impressed you all did your homework because I haven't read anything except the flyer on the website. So I'm very excited for the next 3 opportunities to attend a detailed meeting where you will go through the information, and I hope that it's very helpful and well attended by the community so that we can understand what's going on. I'm really interested in maintaining buildings as a homeowner. You have to make sure that you take care of it so that it doesn't fall apart and gets really bad. So I'm in full understanding that you got to get the HVAC fixed. Who wants to sweat? Who wants to go to an office with no HVAC? Do we want to send our kids to school with that and we wouldn't even go to the office like that? So I'm hoping that we can see that. I don't know anything about the sports stuff, but I think that's in part 2. And so I'm interested in learning about that too, but I'm glad we're going to maintain the building. We want to be here for a while without a falling apart facility. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Cummings. I live on Dahlia Lane. And against my wife's wishes, I'm up here. I'm not going to discuss the budget. I know that's something for a future date, but as you can see, most of the people here are my neighbors that live over here in the flower section. And we put up with a lot on a day-to-day basis. So far, it's been quiet. I've even called the school and I asked them on weekends, when you have an event, open the gate. You box us in. We can't get out of our driveways. I couldn't wait for those lights to leave because for the last week, I haven't been able to park in front of my house when I get home from work. Then in the morning, we got to clean up the garbage that's left. And for what we understand is we're looking to put lights up there so we can do this more often and we can have outside people. It's bad enough that the people from Wantagh are doing it. What are we going to do when we have other people doing it? I know we did it when we built the track years ago. We rented it out to other schools that didn't have tracks, and we had nothing but problems. You know, we deal with problems every single day. I'm not going to get into it. I have kids urinating during lunch. I live right at the back of the gate. I live one house in. I had a kid. Now, like I said, this school year just started. At the end of the school year, I guess the kid's 11th grade, 12th grade. He was with a group of friends, passing by another group of friends. They had words. Next thing you know, I'm getting in the car with my wife, and he has no shorts. So he pulled his shorts down, and he's fondling himself. And I know this is a little off topic, but these are the things we deal with living by the school. We don't need any more. You know, we have 2% of the people that live here, But 98% of the people who aren't affected by it are the ones who are going to come in and vote. They don't care if there's lights here. They want lights. You know, I had this same argument with a couple of colleagues who live in Wantagh when I talked about the turf field. And I said to him, God forbid your son plays on turf and not grass. I said, I did it my whole high school years. I mean, it didn't affect me. But, you know, I understand that, you know, I'm not here to get up and say that these kids going to school now don't deserve it. I raised two beautiful young ladies that went to Wantagh. They loved it. I loved being here. I love this community. But we put up with a lot of crap here, and we don't need more. You know, just bringing more people in here at night is nothing but a problem. You know, once a year, I mean, you know, once a year we have a football game, twice a year, you know, that's one thing, but to deal with this thing on a constant basis, and that's what it's going to be. We're not going to spend that kind of money and turn those lights on one or two times a year. It's going to be our problem the whole year. And like I said, I'm not getting into the budget. You know, these kids deserve the best that they can get because we'll raise the best that we can get. But we still are, you know, we're still the ones that are affected by this, but it's going to be voted on people who aren't affected by it. So I just want you to take that into consideration because it's becoming a heartache. I actually recently thought about selling my home, and I had a friend who said that his friend was looking to buy, and when he came over, he couldn't park his car to come look at my house, and he says, does this go on all the time? And I said, no, not all the time, and I haven't heard from the guy again. So if you don't think that that affects our home values and this, you know, and the price that we could get for our home, you're crazy. But nobody will care once they go to their house. We're the ones that have to stick here and deal with it. And I think we're pretty good with what goes on with the school because we care for the kids. Whether our kids are there or not, they're still our kids. They're our neighborhood kids and we care about them. But we can't do it at our expense every day. And that's what we get every day. We don't get a lot of help from the school. I've called the schools. You got to open up the gates when you have weekends. You're boxing us in over there. We can't live like that. You know, the language with the kids, I know they're kids, but, you know, it doesn't mean much, but I took my mother out the other day for lunch, and she's like, oh, my God, the language on these kids. And listen, I was a kid too, but, you know, I don't think they have the same kind of mentality I did when I grew up. I didn't do anything that would embarrass my father. I don't see that these people have that kind of thing that they worry about. And I know I'm getting a little off, but I'm telling you, we have problems back there that 98% of people in Wantagh don't experience. And when they go home, they won't care about it. So I just want you to take into consideration because it's life-changing for us. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to us this evening. Okay, so basically everybody's just laid out how we feel. To go a little fast forward, some things again we won't discuss, but I would like bringing up as far as the cost of these lights, having them with an electrician installed, running them, and the upkeep of them, and if the field is open. So that's maintenance. Okay, for these items. There's also staff. If this field were to be open to the public, other than our district, is there any type of like insurance waiver that the school board would have to, and that would cost money in order to protect yourselves in our district, and maybe to getting hurt or injured? If you are opening it up, are you having medical staff to address these people that were to get injured on our field playing? So is there a cost analysis that has been run or thought of in the thought of having this done? Or is it just a thought? Am I allowed to ask that? Or you began to run a cost analysis as to what these items would be?
Yeah, taking notes, and I'll address at the end.
Okay. That's fine. And basically to recap how intrusive they are and quality of life. And you were very kind to me when you spoke with me, Mr. McNamara. My husband gets up at 3 a.m. I know we all work hard, but those lights are, and I have several pictures I'd like to show you all on how they come into our house and how they affect our house. It's not just like, oh, there's lights. And again, recap how much we love the community, we want for the community, how much we want to work together. And as he prior stated, at what cost? And if the rest of the district is not affected, but yet will vote for it, okay? Everybody is entitled to. So we will be impacted the most. Will our school and taxes go down because we're affected the most? Can that be a proposal too? Not that I even want that, because the quality of life means more to me than anything. And unless you're living it, do you understand? And I welcome any board member over to see exactly what it's like. And we've done it for years. And when I moved in, it was like an aluminum. It was about 60 feet that way, and it had wood floors, wood seats, and wood steps. Now it's aluminum. You hear, I have people with bats that go and drag it down. It's like boom, 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 boom. Out of a startled sleep. You have no idea what that's like. I mean, I could go on. I hope that I've expressed, and we've expressed, I don't know if minister is speaking, that really take this into consideration, not just a bunch of people that live on this block that just don't want something. It's the quality of our life that we all work very, very hard for. And thank you so much for your time, and please reconsider this. Thank you.
I didn't want to make it sound like I'm not appreciative of all the hard work everybody does and that I'm just a grouchy old guy, because that's not me. My backyard is, people love. I have people in my backyard. The first thing they tell me is, this is spectacular. That's one of the reasons that my kids are gone and I haven't even sold it yet. So I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression, but this will stop that from happening. And like every one of us has said, you know, the people, maybe the 98% will say, well, you should have thought of that. We did do our due diligence when we moved into this neighborhood. So that's an improper statement. If anyone says that, I'm sorry if I offend anybody. But we've all done our due diligence moving on to that block. When I moved in 27 years ago, 3 buses were allowed to go on in the morning. Tell me there's 3 buses there down? That's what I was told. I went to the superintendent 30 years ago. That the gates were going to be closed all day, every day. Nothing is the same. So like Diane is really trying to state, our quality of life, we all work hard like everybody does in this building. We just want to maintain what we have. And this stadium lighting is absolutely the wrong thing to do. It's not even a question. Because traffic-wise, now kids are going to be, like that gentleman said, you know how many times I've picked stuff up? If our own kids, and listen, I was a kid too, I've done a lot of crazy things that I'm embarrassed about. But if you have outside people, you think they're going to care about a house in Wantagh? They're not going to care about a house in Wantagh. They just will not. And that's the bottom line. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good evening. My name is Frank Messina. I have 2 kids in the district, one in the middle school and one in Forest Lake. I live on Rose, which is right off of Daffodil. The lights, I'm here for support of my neighbors, but I'm also concerned about the safety, just for the fact that if there is intentions of renting out the field for other events for third parties, it will bring traffic, it will bring possible vandalism. I mean, I have a neighbor who didn't want to come tonight, but their fence faces the field, and there was a game there, and they caught people from the visiting team peeing on their fence. Your fence, their fence, whatever. But another concern that we have, again, I'm there 14 years on Rose Lane. I love my house. I put a lot of money into my house. I do not want to leave Wantagh, but over the last couple of years, I've been very disenfranchised with the district and Wantagh, New York itself. However, we successfully put a stop sign on Rose. I was wondering if something could be arranged with the school that maybe during opening and closing hours, if it's possible, we could have some sort of security or guard at that stop sign on Rose and Daffodil, because my kids, thankfully now, I drive my son to Forest Lake, my daughter walks to the middle school, but there have been many, many issues with people going through that stop sign. Parents, teachers. I could tell you the teachers too if you want it privately, okay? Because I got their plates. And students. And we've had many altercations, many times at the bus stop for Forest Lake is on the corner of Rose and Daffodil. There's only about 2 or 3 kids, sadly, now that go there because unfortunately they're all grown up now and it's kind of depressing. When I started there was at least, Eddie, what, 12, 13 kids at that corner. And the parents were out there and people would go through the stop signs. A lot of people cutting through from Beltar. So I know staffing is an issue, but we deal, like one of the, Kevin said, we deal with a lot. Urination, littering, fighting, speeding. The Rose Lane is a curved street. I've had my garbage cans taken out by kids. My kids played on my front lawn and they literally walked into the house and a car came right through the stop sign and took out my garbage cans. My son, who was probably 3 or 4 at the time, was maybe 15 feet away. That could have been disastrous. Like I said, I grew up in Brooklyn and I can't stand going to Brooklyn now. Okay, my mother still lives there. I'm trying to get her to come out to Long Island, not happening. I came here because I wanted my kids to be safe and we no longer feel safe. We just want a common respect for the community. We pay a lot in taxes. Times are very hard right now for some of us. And it's just, and we have years where I've had great conversations with some of the kids, and I've had conversations where I've had a high school kid told me to shut my effing mouth or I'm gonna die, okay? First of all, it's not gonna happen. Secondly, you know, where is the respect? We don't ask for much, but we do deal with a lot. Nobody else in this town does. I get it, you live by a school, and there's 5 schools, and we all have our own issues with parking, but it's just common courtesy and safety. That's all we ever really wanted. And I've had conversations with principals and vice principals for the last 14 years. And sometimes we have good, sometimes we have bad. They block hydrants, they block driveways, especially when there's a football game at night. How many times I've had to call people that they just block driveways. And the hydrant, I have a hydrant across the street from my house. Almost every single day there's a high school student parked there. I mean, I don't know who teaches their kid that it's okay to park at a hydrant, but it's getting a little out of hand. And honestly, yeah, I don't want to sell. And I know some people that I've spoken to in my neighborhood, on my street, on Daffodil and Dahlia, they're fed up and we're all ready to leave. And we leave, you don't know who's coming in. It's that simple. So please, just if you could, maybe we could, I would love to talk with you, maybe the principal, if at dismissal, we can get some sort of just someone at the stop sign with a sign. You know, like I said, teachers, a crossing guard, teachers blowing that stop sign, not even hitting the brake. And I've had it on camera. I've brought it to the 7th precinct. You know, they can only do so much as well. They have to catch the person in the act. And, you know, they can't guarantee me a car at dismissal. So maybe there's something we could do together just to keep, we're all about safety for our kids, so let's keep our kids safe. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just want to say a couple of more things and I'll be real quick. All right, we're not the biggest complainers in the world. We are actually the biggest security for the field, and we have been. I've lived here for 30 years, and so has Eddie O'Donnell, lived here for 30 years. I can't tell you how many times I've hopped the fence to chase kids that are drinking on the field or drinking on the bleachers. 2 weeks ago, I hopped the fence and chased a kid with a .22 pellet gun that was firing it at squirrels or something behind the bleachers. I have, and I can show you privately if you'd like, a picture of seniors having sex on the 50-yard line of that field, okay? I'm telling you, we are your #1 security. Work with us. That's all we ask. Don't bring more hazards to this neighborhood. It doesn't make sense, okay? I can't believe you're considering renting out the field to outside teams. It's nuts. If that's the truth, it's crazy. All I'm saying is we're your security here because I never see any security from the school. I'm sorry. I don't. Not out on that field. Not in the nighttime when the kids are out there trying to hang out there. All right? We're your security. We cooperate. Please cooperate with us.
One more quick thing. So as I stated earlier, my house directly is behind the bleachers. So on my back porch, I have a full view of the back of the bleachers as well as that top area where the commentary would come from. So just to kind of piggyback off that, often there's children, or kids, I should say, climb that area and then they climb on top of that. I guess there's another ladder on the side, so you can stand on top of the box where they urinate off of and drink. And I can talk to them because it's right there. So I say, guys, you can't stand there. And I'm worried. I don't want you to be climbing that high. Okay, well, but it is something, we are the security for the field because we don't want kids there. This was 11 o'clock at night, during the summer. I have 2 small children. I don't want someone coming into the backyard, so we are the security for it. And I agree with my neighbors that renting out the field and the lights, going to be on is something that we really, really need to consider for the community. It's a worry. So thank you.
You've had enough? You haven't had enough. I got one more thing. I just want you to know that the first day of practice, in the middle of that heat wave we had, there was a bunch of cheerleaders and the entire football team, and it was like 100 degrees that day, and those kids were dying. I let 5 of them hop the fence and swim with me. Then you can go ask them. I didn't let any of the cheerleaders go. But I did let 5 of the high school football players come. So we're like, we're not complainers. We've never come to you complaining, ever. But we're complaining now. So we're at that spot, okay? Everybody come on over and go swimming.
All right, seeing no one else, we'll close the public comment period. Thank you all for participating tonight. We appreciate it. I'll address some of the things that I can address, and others we could certainly have future conversation about. First of all, thank you for coming out. All those from the neighborhood that came out, we appreciate it. Appreciate you for your neighborhood and for our kids. So we thank you for that. We want to be good neighbors, just like you have been good neighbors to us. So please know that we continue to. I've had individual conversations with many of you, not all of you, but many of you over the past several years that certainly that I've been here. We certainly try to address things as they come up, and we'll continue to do that. One of the things that I have spoken to the board about already is having some separate time with all of you, with our district architect, to talk in detail about the plans that would immediately impact you and your property. So please, we'll be reaching out to you in the future to do that. This way he can kind of talk to you in more detail about the plans, share with you exactly what is being proposed. We haven't gotten into the details of any of that with anybody, so I just want everyone to have a good understanding of that. There also seems to be a significant misconception about looking to rent out our property to outside groups. That's not the plan. That's not the intent. just to hopefully alleviate that. That being said, it would be open to, we open our fields to community groups. So our local soccer club and our local football club and our local little leagues and those types of yeah, you know, I don't have to tell you, you hear them and you see them. Yeah, so you know that. We'll continue to, continue this conversation as we move forward. Please know we hear you and we hear your concerns, and we'll continue to do that as we move ahead. We'll once we get into the details of that, we have there's much more detailed plans that we can share with you and what that would look like, and continue to get your feedback on that. So that just look for that to come. We also in wanting to get word out early on in terms of what this was looking like. We had a capital improvements committee that's been meeting now for the past year or so, looking at different aspects of all of our facilities. We were delayed a little bit with COVID. We kind of put some things on hold, and now we're getting back to that work. So now we can start to share, what all that looks like. So please look for that to come from us, and I look forward to just kind of small group meeting. We can sit down at a table and go through this stuff, so we can talk a little bit less formally about it. There was also a question regarding tax neutral. Mike, I just want to get, as far as that goes, that was, I can let Anthony speak to that a little bit. I know we spoke a little bit about at our planning session. We'll lay that out, what that looks like. There's debt service that's coming off our books. I alluded to it a little bit earlier in my general comments. We have about $2.3 million in debt service payments that we currently make for the projects that we had previously done. Those are the elementary extensions that were done. That's the North Gym at the high school right here. So that is expiring. So part of the plan is to replace that debt service with new debt service. That in conjunction with the state aid that we get back on those projects. Roughly our state aid number is about 62% is what we anticipate. So that is paid back over a 15-year period. So those monies coming back to us to offset debt service payments, and in conjunction with the debt service that's rolling off. So we can share those calculations with you. We have a detailed slide in the presentation that we'll do that'll kind of run through those numbers as well. Yep. All right, the public comment period's over. This is when I don't take questions. Yeah, I'm joking with you. Oh, so yeah, I'm sorry. That was your other point about interest. Yeah, so that's our ability to borrow, right? So that's something that we get updates on from our financial advisors in terms of what that looks like. So that obviously impacts our ability with those increase in interest rates. That will change the projection. So an important part of this is, and to your point about them being made weeks ago, when the borrowing would actually take place, right? So we're talking about projects now that at their earliest, right, these major infrastructure projects, at their earliest, we're looking at 2024, summer 2020, at the earliest, right? Because if the bond is successful, it's approved, we have to submit plans up to SED. The lead time on things like unit ventilators right now is about 50 weeks just to order, all right, to get those kinds of things in. So at the earliest, that's when, to your point about there being no good time, right? There's, we talk about inflation, we talk about interest rates going up, right? This is work that I don't know what that's going to look like in 2024, 2025, when some of the initial borrowing would be done, right? We'd probably do a ban, which would be just a bond anticipation note, just to start to finance some of the ordering and some of the things that we need to do before your actual borrowing of the larger sums of money. So it's complex, and to your point, these are projections, right? Yep. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Understood. That's what we're trying to do. Certainly. All right. So that concludes our. I'll come by afterwards. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Good. You want, come on up, and then we'll wrap up and come on up.